Your glutes are the most powerful muscle group in the human body. They are the engine behind every step you take, the foundation your spine sits on, the shock absorbers your knees depend on, the muscles that determine whether you move through life with power and confidence or with pain and limitation. And here is the uncomfortable truth that most people over 50 are living with right now. Their glutes have essentially switched off. It's called gluteal amnesia, and it's exactly what it sounds like. Years of sitting at desks, in cars, and on couches have caused the glutes to stop firing properly. They're there. They just stopped showing up to work. And when the glutes go quiet, everything else pays the price. Your lower back tightens and aches. Your knees take on load they were never designed to carry. Your hips become unstable, and your posture begins to collapse. The solution is not complicated, but it requires the right exercises, specifically chosen to reactivate, rebuild, and strengthen the glutes in a way that produces fast, visible, and life-changing results. Today, I'm giving you the 3 most essential glute exercises for men and women over 50. Not the most popular, not the trendiest, the most essential. The ones that deliver real strength, real protection, and real results faster than anything else. This is one of the most important videos we've made at Old School Wellness. Stay with me all the way through, because what you learn today will change the way your body moves for years to come. Let's go. Before we get to the exercises, let's talk about what your glutes actually do. Because once you understand this, you'll never skip a glute workout again. Your gluteal group is made up of 3 muscles. The gluteus maximus, the largest muscle in the entire body, drives hip extension. Every time you stand up, walk uphill, climb a stair, or rise from a seat, that muscle is supposed to be the primary mover. The gluteus medius and minimus sit on the outer hip and are responsible for lateral stability, keeping your pelvis level and your knee tracking correctly with every single step you take. When these muscles are strong and active, your body works the way it was designed to. When they're weak or inhibited, which is the reality for most people who sit for more than 6 hours a day, your lumbar spine overworks and develops chronic pain. Your knees collapse inward and develop tracking problems. Your hip flexors shorten and tighten. Your pelvis tilts forward and your posture deteriorates. Research published in the Journal of Orthopedic and Sports Physical Therapy found that glute weakness is directly associated with patellofemoral pain, that's kneecap pain, in adults. Other studies link weak glutes to increased rates of hamstring injury, IT band syndrome, and chronic lower back pain. This is not about aesthetics. This is about how your body functions. This is about whether you can live independently, move freely, and remain capable for the next 20 to 30 years. Strengthen your glutes. Everything else gets better. That is not an exaggeration. That is anatomy. Exercise number 1. The hip thrust. And I will say this plainly. If you only do one glute exercise for the rest of your life, make it this one. The hip thrust produces more glute muscle activation than any other exercise in existence. This is not opinion. This is electromyography research, the science of measuring exactly how hard muscles fire during movement. Time and again, the hip thrust tops every chart. It beats squats. It beats deadlifts. It beats lunges. For pure glute activation, nothing else comes close. And here's what makes it perfect for people over 50. It requires no spinal loading. Your back is supported throughout the entire movement. Your knees are bent at a safe angle. You control every inch of the range of motion. It is powerful, safe, and scalable from absolute beginner to advanced athlete. Here's your setup and form. Sit on the floor with your upper back resting against a stable surface, a couch, a sturdy bench, or a low coffee table. Knees bent, feet flat on the floor, hip-width apart. If you're adding weight, place a dumbbell or folded towel on your hips for comfort. Drive your feet into the floor and thrust your hips upward, squeezing your glutes as hard as you possibly can at the top. Your body should form a straight line from your shoulders to your knees at the top position. Your chin stays tucked. Don't let your head fall back. Hold the top position for a full 2 seconds, then lower slowly and with control, stopping just before your hips touch the floor, and drive back up. 3 sets of 12 to 15 repetitions. Rest 60 to 90 seconds between sets. The 2-second hold at the top is not optional. That peak contraction is where the glute activation is highest. That's where the growth happens. Don't skip it. Progression. Begin with body weight. When 15 reps feel easy, add a light dumbbell across your hips. Increase weight gradually every 2 weeks. As a long-term goal, work toward a barbell hip thrust. One of the most respected glute-building movements in all of strength training. One more critical coaching note, and this catches almost everyone at the beginning. Squeeze your glutes, not your lower back. If you feel this primarily in your lumbar spine, your hips may be rising too high. Bring them down slightly until the burn moves squarely into your backside. This is the exercise that will change your glutes. Do it every session. Exercise number 2. The Bulgarian split squat, also known, by everyone who has done it, as the exercise that humbles you completely and transforms you thoroughly. This is a split squat with your rear foot elevated on a bench, couch, or chair behind you. And before you write it off as too difficult, hear why it made this list over every other squat variation. After 50, virtually everyone has a strength imbalance between their dominant and non-dominant leg. One side is stronger, more stable, and more coordinated. The other side quietly compensates, letting the stronger leg do more than its share with every squat, every step, every climb. Over time, that imbalance grows. It shows up as asymmetrical wear on your knees and hips. It shows up as chronic pain on one side of your body. And it dramatically increases your fall risk. The Bulgarian split squat forces each leg to work independently. There is nowhere to hide. The weaker leg gets exposed, and then it gets fixed. Simultaneously, this movement hammers the glute of the front leg through a deep, full range of motion that standard squats simply cannot match. Sports scientists at the Australian Institute of Sport rate it as one of the top 3 lower body exercises for athletic development, at any age. Here's your setup and form. Stand about 2 feet in front of a bench, couch, or sturdy chair. Place the top of one foot on the surface behind you, laces down. Your front foot is flat on the floor, far enough forward that when you descend, your front knee stays behind your toes. Now lower yourself straight down, hinging slightly at the hip, keeping your chest tall. Descend until your front thigh is close to parallel with the floor, or as low as your mobility currently allows. Your back knee drops toward the floor without touching it. Then drive powerfully through your front heel to return to the starting position. 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps on each leg. Complete all reps on one side before switching. This increases the neuromuscular demand and produces faster strength adaptation. Modification for beginners. Start with your rear foot on a low surface, just 6 to 8 inches off the ground. A thick book, a yoga block, a bottom stair. Reduce the elevation until your balance and strength develop. Progression. Hold dumbbells at your sides. Add weight every 2 weeks as the movement becomes more controlled and comfortable. This exercise will expose exactly where you're weak. That's not discouraging. That's information. Use it. Within 4 weeks of consistent Bulgarian split squats, your leg strength balance will shift dramatically. Within 8 weeks, people will notice you move differently. That's a promise. Exercise number 3, the band pull-through. And this one is the most underrated glute exercise most people over 50 have never tried, and the one that completes this routine by training the glutes through a movement pattern that is absolutely essential for daily life. Here's the pattern. The hip hinge, bending forward from the hips, not the back, and driving back to upright through the posterior chain. This is the movement your body uses every time you pick something up off the floor, every time you lean over a sink, every time you load the dishwasher, make the bed, or tie your shoes. If you do this movement with weak glutes and poor body awareness, your lower back does the work and pays the price. If you do it with strong, active glutes, it's effortless and completely safe. The band pull-through teaches and reinforces the perfect hip hinge pattern while loading the glutes at the precise point of maximum stretch, the bottom of the movement, which research shows is where the greatest muscle growth stimulus occurs. Here's your setup and form. Anchor a resistance band to a low, fixed point. A heavy piece of furniture, a door anchor at ground level, or a fence post outdoors. Face away from the anchor. Step forward enough that the band has significant tension. Stand with feet shoulder-width apart, soft bend in the knees. Reach back between your legs to grip the band, both hands together. Now hinge forward at the hips, pushing your hips back toward the anchor as the band pulls your hands back between your legs. Keep your back flat, your spine neutral, your chest open. Feel the stretch deep in your glutes and hamstrings. Then, drive your hips powerfully forward, squeezing your glutes hard as you come to a fully upright standing position. Hips fully extended, glutes fully contracted. Hold 1 second at the top, then hinge back again with control. 3 sets of 12 to 15 repetitions. Rest 60 seconds between sets. Key coaching point: this movement is a hip hinge, not a squat. Your knees bend slightly, but they are not the primary moving joint. Your hips are. Think of your hips as a door hinge. All the action happens there. Your spine stays in one long, neutral line from tailbone to the crown of your head throughout the entire movement. No resistance band? A cable machine at the gym does this identically. Or you can substitute a Romanian deadlift with light dumbbells. Same hinge pattern, same glute demand, same results. The band pull-through connects your glutes to the movements of your daily life. It takes the strength you built with the hip thrust and the Bulgarian split squat and teaches your body how to use it. That's the final piece of the puzzle. Train the hip hinge. Protect your back. Unlock your glutes in every movement you make. Here is your complete, old-school wellness essential glute routine. All 3 exercises together. 3 sessions per week, never 2 days in a row. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Your choice, but the rest days are not negotiable. That's when your glutes are actually growing. Here is your progression roadmap. Weeks 1 and 2. Focus entirely on form. Body weight or very light resistance. Learn the movements. Build the mind-muscle connection. Weeks 3 and 4. Add light load. Increase reps toward the top of each range. Week 5 onward. Increase resistance every 2 weeks. Track your weights. Celebrate the progress. By week 8, you will feel the difference in every staircase you climb, every chair you rise from, every hill you walk up. The strength you build here doesn't stay in the gym. It follows you everywhere. Before I close today, there is one concept I need to give you. Because it's the difference between people who do these exercises and see modest results, and people who do these exercises and completely transform their strength. It's called the mind-muscle connection. Research from the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research found that when participants consciously focused on squeezing the target muscle during an exercise, rather than just going through the motion, they achieved up to 22% greater muscle activation. 22%. From thinking differently, not from training harder. For the glutes specifically, this matters enormously, because after years of gluteal amnesia, your brain has partially lost the neural pathway that connects to those muscles. You need to re-establish it deliberately. Here is how. Before every set of every exercise in this routine, do this. Place your hand on your glute. Squeeze it as hard as you can. Just a manual contraction. Hold for 5 seconds. Release. Now go into your set. And throughout every rep, focus every ounce of your mental attention on squeezing that muscle. Don't think about reps. Don't look around. Feel the muscle working. This single habit, the deliberate squeeze, the intentional focus, will accelerate your results faster than any program adjustment or weight increase. Your brain controls your muscles. Train your brain to fire your glutes, and your glutes will respond like you haven't experienced in years. Here is what I want you to walk away with today. Strong glutes are not a luxury. They are not a vanity goal. They are a functional necessity. And after 50, they become one of the most important investments you can make in your health, your independence, and your quality of life. The 3 exercises you learned today, the hip thrust, the Bulgarian split squat, and the band pull-through, are not random. Every one of them was chosen because it delivers maximum glute activation, protects your joints, corrects imbalances, and produces results you will actually feel in your daily life. 3 sessions per week. Progressive challenge. The mind-muscle connection working with you, not against you. That is how old-school wellness works. No shortcuts, no gimmicks, just the right work, done consistently, producing results that last. If this video gave you real value today, and I believe it did, hit that like button right now. Share this with someone you care about who is dealing with back pain, knee pain, or just wants to move better after 50. They need this. Subscribe to Old School Wellness if you haven't already, and ring that bell so you never miss what we put out every week. And leave me a comment right now. Tell me, are you dealing with back pain, knee pain, or both? And which of these 3 exercises are you starting with today? I read every comment. I want to hear from you. Stay strong. Stay consistent. The best version of your body is still ahead of you. I'll see you in the next one.